Shalom, shalom, world. Welcome back to T3 and Me. It's your man, Tim Ford.
That you sing as giving them the tithe of kindness.
Anasema malaika ninakupenda malaika anasema malaika ninakutamani malaika anasema
Jump down already.
Nashindwana malisina we ningekuoa malaika anasema jambo ngalo jambo bwana habari gani ngalo mzuri sana akiwa
Shalom, 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 world. Welcome back to T3 and Me. It's your man, Tim Ford Jr., and I'm here with another special guest. We have Mr. Miles Carter,
Shalom.
also known as Siobhan Carter. He has, what, three or four names?
Yeah, about 5, about 12.
No, but he has two different names at the moment because he's an artist and he's also a man of God. So he has one name, which is Miles Carter, which he uses for his YouTube content and his Instagram as well, right?
Yeah.
Instagram and YouTube content where he puts out videos and content motivating individuals to do the right thing and really just get people in the right mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So my brother, he moved here to Tanzania, what?
3 months.
3
months ago.
3 months ago. He's been here. We are in the same Messianic Israelites group. I know y'all have heard us mention about the group on WhatsApp where we talk and have communion and conversation about the Most High and the work that He's doing amongst us as Black Americans, as Hebrew Americans. We are here to really grow and help one another move into the right direction and get into a good position here as people on the continent, and especially here in Tanzania. So in our group, we've been, not just in our group, here in Tanzania, we've been going through a lot of different hurdles as people. There is things that's been placed in our way within different sectors in the country that's been sort of hindering us from moving forward in a lot of people's opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And
A lot of uncertainty has been coming up.
yeah, a lot of uncertainty. That's the word I'm looking for. A lot of uncertainty. How with the uncertainty, how have you been managing the uncertainty?
I think for me, I started to feel a bit discouraged and uncertain when I went to get my extension, and the atmosphere of just being in the government building just felt so unwelcoming to me, and that may be coming from like fears from operating government spaces from in America, where it's always so cordial and formal, and the farthest thing away from personable and human, and so I don't know, when I went to get my extension, I just remember feeling just a bit discouraged, a bit unwelcomed, and I remember like questioning and asking, like, do you really want me here? Like, is this what I'm going to have to feel every time I need to get an extension? And even more, this is not something I would want to invite other people to hear, for them to have to go through an experience, this feeling of coming from a place where you're already unwelcomed, to coming here and then feeling unwelcomed again, because it's contrasted. Because when I walk around, when I'm going about just being in Tanzania, I feel very much welcomed. It's a very welcoming community, a very welcoming people, a very welcoming culture. It's just this space of I think engaging in trying to get that extension that for me just made me feel just very anxious. And then I remember when I got back from getting the extension, all praises to the Most High, I felt led to like do a fast, and I was like, man, what fast for what? You know? And I remember like getting the notion that I felt like I was being told, like, you know, you're doing a fast for things you don't know about yet. You know, and that's what I was going into it off. And as I kind of went through the week, and I was talking to different people that were sharing with me like their experiences, you know, different things that were happening with different people who are repatriating, or different people who are wanting to come here, where, you know, plans seem to be falling through. Things that were set up for them to stay long term weren't going about it. Like, certain people were thinking they will have to leave. There was a lot of uncertainty and discouragement that seemed to be happening, not only in my life, but within the community of people that I was interacting with. And so
around us.
Yeah. And so as the week went on, I just kind of started to really feel a need for us to come together and fast, you know, collectively. Because even though I've been fasting like individually, I think about when God sent Moses to the people to deliver them. He said that, I've heard the cry of my people, you know, a collective cry, a unified cry. And so I felt as though we were at a place where we need to come together and unify as a people, as a nation, and we need to be in one accord. And I was telling you about how, while all this was happening, and me feeling this need for unity, I found out that this weekend, tomorrow, is the feast of Shavuot, which we can read about in Acts 2. And Shavuot is Pentecost, when the Ruach, or the Spirit, came down and broke down the language barriers between all these Jews who were coming from all different parts of the world to meet for this feast. But the Ruach came down on the emissaries and broke down all those barriers, so that the word of the Most High, His truth, could be bestowed upon all men. And in it going to all men, of course, when they go back into their respective nations, it's going out to the entire world after that, you know.
Same time.
Exactly. But that feast represented a time of unity, a time when all of Israel was coming together in one accord with the Most High, or one accord before the Most High, and one accord not by our own strength or by our own desires, or not one accord incentivized by our own wants, you know, but one accord with the Ruach, one accord with His will and His pleasure, you know. And so I don't know, I just felt it in my heart that we really need to come together and really operate as one body, as one nation, and humble ourselves before the Most High and pray and call out to Him as a unit, you know.
That's wow. All praise. That's an interesting perspective that you have. How you were 23, right?
Yeah.
23, y'all. Like we are young men over here trying to get it done.
Yeah.
We are trying to make it happen, and we are really like trying to pave the way for people. And my brother, like I was stating, he's in the group with us, and he was bold enough to step out on the limb, go against what everyone else was saying, not being, you know, disobedient or anything, but just going against the grain. People are nervous, are backtracking, are trying to plant seeds of doubt, plant seeds of fear. My brother stepped up and was like, hey, y'all, we need to fast as a group, as a unit, as one. Like, to take the mantle and do something like that amongst elders, amongst people who are disobedient, that takes some boldness and some strength. And I admire someone that's able to, you know, step into a calling, because like me myself, I had to step into a calling as well. So for me to see another man do it, and I understand the sacrifice that comes with it, speaking what the Most High is telling us to speak, saying what He's telling us to say in front of people who don't want to hear it. So I understand the boldness that comes with it, and I understand like maybe some of the fear that comes with it as well, that tries to come in and, you know, take what you're doing. And that's why I understand, and I thought it would be important and to show my subscribers another 20-year-old that's here, walking the right way, trying to do it right. He's called out a fast that we're all gonna do in the group now as the Hebrew Israelite community here. So we're extending the invitation to any other individual who wants to believe and wants to fast with us. There's other Hebrew Israelites that are here as well that we aren't joined in the same community yet, because we have so many differences that we try to put on each other that we don't even try to sit down and talk.
Yeah.
We don't even want to sit down and have a conversation because someone worships on this day. Do you believe in Christ? That's the main goal. That's the main objective. Do you believe in Christ? People lose sight of that because of the particulars about everything.
And that's the beginning of the conversation.
Yep.
Like when we find that common ground in Christ, then we can come together even in our differences and say, I know what I think, I know what you think. What does Christ say about it?
Exactly.
You know? And actually seeing those differences as opportunities to come together and find out the root of the truth. Because if we have differences, it means that Israel is separated, and Christ himself says a kingdom divided against itself is going to fall. So what does that mean? That means we have to come together and be willing to face these differences and come to the root, and again come on one accord and make sure we're moving in one unit, because Christ, he's not coming back for 3 different brides or 10 different brides. He's coming back for one. And that one bride needs to be in one accord. And now that's not something I feel that we can do on our own. I don't think that we can just decide to come together, which is why it's important that I think we're fasting and praying collectively and asking the Ruach to come upon us, asking Yah to send his spirit and his Ruach to do the work of breaking the barriers in the way that it did in the way that he did at Pentecost, breaking down the barriers that we may have between us and bringing us together in his truth. Humbling us while also encouraging us. Only the Ruach can do that. Only the Ruach can do that at the same time, and I think it's time that we start making those steps towards really moving as a nation. I feel like we've moved as a group. We've had the understanding of who we are and where we're coming from, but at least for me, I've never seen us operate as a nation. I've never seen what that looks like, and so amongst us. And so for us to really decide to come together collectively and fast, really deny ourselves and sacrifice things and really remove from ourselves the distractions, remove from ourselves our idols, remove from ourselves everything, just to focusing on the Most High and call out to him as his bride, call out to him as one unit in one accord, really seeking him and asking him to hear us, really seeking him and asking him. Like, I believe that he's already heard us. I believe that he already knows, and he's already making way to accomplish what it is that we need. I think what he needs for us is to come together as one and to start to move in order, move in structure. Let's start putting things together within the group, within the nation, to really build ourselves in our hearts. Let's really start putting therapy together. Let's start talking to each other. Let's start fellowshipping with each other outside of just Shabbat. Let's start meeting in the weeks, the men. Let's start going out and volunteering. Working in the communities, connecting with the Tanzanians, because that's what you mentioned that we're here to do. We're not just here to be in Tanzania and enjoy it for ourselves. We're here to do a work for the Most High. And that also means that we need to be reaching our brothers, our Tanzanian brothers. So we don't just look like what we're perceived as, being foreigners and Westerners coming over to Africa. No, we are your brothers, real life, like even beyond just color, like we're your brothers in the Most High. This is who he is and this is who we are, and reaching them in that light, which means cooperating. And when we're thinking about business and everything, really thinking about how we can benefit not only ourselves, but them. How can we serve you? How can we grow with you? How can we build with you? Engage in that dialogue,
And you made an interesting point where we won't be able to get there until we get unity amongst ourselves. Like, we can do it individually. Like me and you, I'm sure we both have different locals that we've connected with, that we've talked to about this, that we've helped in our own type of way. But if we did it as a collective and as a unit, we would help so many more people. And I like how you stated the fact that we actually all we all connect. We're disconnected in a way, but we connect in the fact that we all felt uncertainty. Like, I don't care what walk of life you come from, who you believe in. If you came from America as a black American and you are here in Tanzania right now, you felt some uncertainty when you walked to the immigration office.
Yeah.
You call somebody and say, hey man, pray for me, whatever. Like, hey, look out for me. I may not come back. Like, I'm going to immigration.
Word.
So we all have this same, I guess you could say,
struggle.
Same struggle. Yeah, we all have this same struggle where we're trying to move forward and we're all working and we're trying to get to the same place, but we all going different ways.
Yeah.
And y'all brought us all here to work together. Y'all brought us all here to come together, to move on one accord, to do things properly, to do things in His will. So I love the fact, bro, that you brought up that we need to pray and fast what we want done. And we're not just, the praying and fasting is not just to get, some recognition within the country. Of course, we want to be recognized as people here, but we're going to show ourselves. We're going to put in the work. We're going to pray. We're going to fast. We know how important fasting is to this country. That's one of the main reasons that we came, because the former president boldly went against the world and said, we're going to fast and pray against what's trying to attack us, pray against what's trying to stop us, and seek Him.
Seek the Most High.
Seek the Most High, exactly. So I think it's important that I can't reiterate enough, bro. I appreciate you for being bold and stepping out on faith and calling us out, because we all need it. Just like you were saying, I've been called to fast since I got here, and I haven't stepped into it yet. I'll be 100% honest. I supposed to been fast since what? I've been here 9 months. No, 8 months. I've been here 8 months. I was supposed to fast. I fasted once or twice, maybe one day, but I supposed to do it longer. And you, as my brother, came and held me accountable to that, and I appreciate it. And when it comes to anybody else, when the word comes and you hear that inkling and you feel that conviction, it's how you answer to that conviction is who you become and who you are. Because we all have a choice. Like, when he put that in the group, majority of us could have act like we didn't see it, act like we don't understand the importance of it, act like we didn't even hear it. But a lot of us are like, oh, you on to something, bro. Thank you for that. I don't know if anybody else said thank you, but I'm saying thank you, for your boldness. But I said all that to say we're not here to, take anything. We're not here to impose our will on anyone. We really came to this country seeking refuge and really seeking love and understanding from our brothers and sisters. Because we come from a situation that a lot of y'all probably couldn't even wrap your minds around. Like, we came from, literally hell. And as we continue to sit down and talk and have these conversations with one another amongst the locals and, us having the dialogue, y'all will begin to see and really feel our pain and feel where we're coming from. I know some uncertainty. It's uncertainty within the Tanzanians. They're like, what are all these people doing here? Like, who are y'all? Why is there so many at this point?
And you can't blame the government for responding for being concerned, because we've all come here and we've recognized something beautiful here. We've recognized a sense of peace that exists amidst the people. We've recognized a certain love that exists just in the way that people operate and treat each other as something so special. And so why would that not be something worth protecting?
Exactly.
From anybody who's coming in. And so when we're facing these blocks, or when we're facing these difficulties, or when you mentioned earlier, when things aren't being handed to us, I think we have to also understand that these are measures to preserve the very thing that we love about what we see here. And so that's why we're seeking the Most High in this, because our warfare, it's not warfare in the sense like we're going to war with anyone, but the way that we tackle these things is not with our own hands, it's not with aggression, it's not with entitlement, it's with going to the Most High.
Humbling ourselves.
Humbling ourselves, exactly, because that's what we're here for. We're here to do the will of the Most High. We're here to humble ourselves and walk amidst our brothers and to learn. As much as we want to bring in, as much as we can bring, as much as we can share, we're here to learn as well and unlearn many of the things that we've brought over here from the West, and really come together as one. So, yeah, and I also wanted to add, like, it wasn't, I could not take credit at all for, like, sharing, that conviction in the group, because it came from, like, really speaking with people and others also being inspired to do this as well. Yeah, when I came from immigration and I felt discouraged, I kept that to myself. I just talked to a few people about it, but it's after really talking to people in smaller groups, really saying, like, yo, we need to come together, we need to fast, we need to pray, we need to be collective. That's when we're like, all right, well, now let's take this to the larger group. And now that we've taken it to the larger group, now the larger group is saying, now let's take it to as many people as we can, because we need to, as a nation, be coming together, even bigger than just this situation in Tanzania. Israel as an entirety, Israel across the world, Israel needs to be making intentional steps towards coming together in one accord with the Most High. And the only way I see that happening is calling for the Ruach. It's not something that we can do by our own efforts. This entire walk, this entire life, salvation in itself, is not something that we can do by ourselves. It is the grace and the mercy of the Most High that even makes any of it possible. So when we encounter situations like this where we're feeling uncertain, it's time again to call on the Most High and ask for His presence, ask for His Ruach. When we are encountering differences with our brothers, it's time to call for Him to come in with His Ruach to break down those barriers between us. So yeah, man, I think that's just for me a primary focus in this fast, and it's why I'm so grateful that we've, like, collectively decided to do this, because I think if nothing else, it's showing the Most High that we're willing and we're ready to make the effort and to do the work of showing Him that we are His people, coming to Him and calling to Him in unity. And what will happen from then is beyond anything that we can imagine.
We it's not just, like I was saying, like to the viewers, it's not just fasting for a handout. It's not just fasting for a seat at the table. It's just fasting to just ask the Most High to reveal how it's supposed to be done. We already know what's supposed to be done. How it's already written what's gonna be done. So we're just here doing our part and our roles as the yielded vessels to do His will. So there's really no, even when the uncertainty comes, there's still no fear. Like, there's just a moment of doubt, but there's still like, oh, I'm covered. Like, you made it out. Like, you're still covered. Even with the people who have the uncertainty that they may not make it, you made it out. You had uncertainty, but you made it out. So now that you made it out, what are you gonna do to not let your brother and sister stumble and have that same level of uncertainty?
Right.
What hard work are you gonna do to go and get your knees dirty so nobody has to deal with that? Because we don't want to keep dealing with this.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's getting time where a lot of our visas are coming to an end, and a lot of us are really like starting to worry. So let's pray and let's fast about it. Let's ask for direction. Let's seek direction. If it's finances that you're worried about, finances is a tool. It's a tool that's at our command. If you have the faith and you know that it is at your command, you can call it to you, and it'll come to you through someone, or it'll fall into your lap in a way that you never can imagine. It's just about having the faith and knowing, like, He told me to go. He gave us what to do. He told us how to move. Why not just do it? Why not just do it? And man, we have the reference points. We have the Bible. We have the Sefer. We have the men of God that we can reference from. And so, man, let's use what they told us to do. Let's use the blueprint. They gave us the formula. Let's fast and let's figure it out. And so that's wise that you're doing that, man. And how do we continue to foster this type of relationship into the others that's coming? How do we teach others to know, like, you have to come over here to work? Because I know a lot of people come over here and get caught up in the beauty and get caught up in the chill lifestyle and forget, and you waste a few months playing around when you could have been doing kingdom work.
Yeah.
So how do we fester the kingdom mentality and the kingdom work in the midst of us fasting?
I think, for me, I think that we have to firstly remember that we are a nation. So just because I'm over here and I feel comfortable doesn't mean that I don't want to say allowed to be. I can't be comfortable here if my brothers are still in the world suffering. Yeah. As a nation, even if 90% of us were good, if 10% of us were still struggling and still suffering, none of us can be comfortable. So I think we have to have that mindset in coming here, that even though the Most High has led you to come to Africa, or to come to Tanzania, like our people are still in bondage. Our people are still struggling. Our people are still being afflicted and oppressed. So it's not time for us to sit back and think that we're good just because our surroundings look good. My father tells me that sometimes the enemy will convince you that you are where you need to be to keep you from continuing to where you need to go. The enemy will pamper you to make you feel safe and protected, so you become docile.
Like a golden jail cell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you forget about your brothers. You forget about the work you need to do because he gives you this false sense of comfort. And so I think we first need to come over here and understand that even though the Most High has brought you here, there is work to be done in his name, because he's still drawing his people. There's still work to be done as a nation, which speaks to what we're talking about now, not thinking individualistically, but thinking in the way that our fathers did, as thinking generations ahead, thinking widely as how my actions affect this nation. You know, I think that's the first step. The second, I would say, is coming in with a level of humility. We need to come with a level of humility to be willing to listen, to be willing to learn, understand what is the culture here like, and then adapt to it. We're not coming here to find little pockets of the West that we can still maintain. We're coming here to immerse ourselves into this culture, understanding that there are many things that we can bring to help. There are many things that we can also relinquish that will help us in adapting ourselves to the way in which they operate here. There are things that have been preserved here that we have never seen. In the same way that there are things that have been given to us that our brothers and sisters here have never seen. And so when we come together, we have to have that mind of unifying, which means we can't come with the mind of, I'm here to teach you and help you and pick you up. That's a colonizer mindset.
It is.
We are here to teach and we're here to help, but we're also here to learn.
More so learn, really, when you think about it, because we're a lot more broken. I don't mean to cut you off, but we are here to learn more than anything, bro. Like, we have some ideas, we have some quick, some get rich quick schemes, but in the grand scheme of life and how life operates, bro, you can see that the Tanzanians have a different level of peace. Like you said, we can't even tap into yet. Right. We have to heal fully before we can even get to where they're at mentally, bro. So you got a point. Go ahead.
Nah, exactly. Just coming here with the willingness to learn. And the third thing I would say, which I think is really the most important thing I believe we need to have when coming here, is the Spirit of the Most High. And that's the same thing that we're praying for now, is for the Spirit of the Most High to be bestowed upon us. And I feel that anyone who's coming here, I would encourage them, pray for the Spirit of the Most High. Ensure that before you step foot on that plane, before you even get in the car to go to the airport, ensure that you are in line with the Most High's will. Because if that's the case, he will go ahead of you and clear the path. And that's what we're experiencing now, where even something that would seem discouraging to us, but be it with immigration or the uncertainty, I'm seeing how it's turning around to be something that it really encourages us and draws us together. So we see how the Most High takes a situation that may look dire on the surface and turns it into something so beautiful. I'm seeing people come together in a way that I haven't seen before. Me and myself, I'm feeling more encouraged than I have. I'm feeling more trusting than I have. I'm feeling more connected than I have before when I'm seeing how we're coming together in this and we're seeking the Most High as one of the most. It's more beautiful than what I saw when I came to Tanzania initially. This right here, seeing the unity of the Most High's people coming on one accord and seeking Him in unison, is more beautiful than any beach, any tree, anything that I've seen. You know, and so I think that speaks to the relevance in Israel anywhere. You know, we're not chasing worldly beauty. We're not chasing what this world has to offer. We're chasing unity in the Most High. That is where we will find fulfillment. That is where we will find peace. That is where we will find identity. That is where we will find everything that we're searching for. And so we can then turn around and accomplish the purpose that He's given to Israel since the very beginning. When we come in, we're operating in unison with the Most High. We can turn around and be a witness, be a light onto the nations to draw them into His truth, into knowing Him in spirit and in truth. But the only way we can draw the nations into knowing Him in spirit and in truth is if we firstly come together and unify in worshiping Him, seeking His Ruach to teach us how to worship Him in spirit and in truth.
All praise, bro. That's true. That's so true. We have to unify. That's why we came. That's why we're here, and that's why we're gonna keep hitting that message home, because that's the most important thing is unification. Like the two sticks have to become one, and now we're half a stick. You know, we're not even a full stick right now to become one with the other. So we got to get ourselves together so we can become two sticks. But we're close. I feel it in my spirit. I know that we're extremely close because it's too many of us over here doing the groundwork right now for the Most High. And a lot of us are in positions that we wouldn't even be close to if we hadn't been following His Ruach. And if you came over and you've been following His Ruach, don't allow the uncertainty to get you off track. Because that's one of the enemy's tactics as well. Like he'll try and plant those seeds of fear and doubt, and it'll fester into your whole faith. You think about it, if you let that tiny seed of fear grow, that'll be your faith. Your faith will be in fear. So it's important that, you know, if you're hearing this call to fast, to really look into what fasting is. To truly understand what it means to deny your flesh and really just give it to Christ, give it to the Most High. Really deny yourself and really just seek understanding and seek guidance. Like I was saying, it's bigger than recognition from the government. This is recognition from Yah. This is recognition from Him to let Him know that we are following your path. We see what they're talking about. We see how people are trying to scare us, but we're speaking fasting and praying in life. There's things, like you said, things are turning around amongst us, around us. Like certain ministers in certain positions are saying things. They're noticing that we're here. All we have to do is put in the work. Show these people that we're coming to be a benefit to their country, and we're not coming to steal and take and pillage this place. We're coming to join two sticks together. That's the only reason we're here. And we have to ask the Most High to let that light shine through us where they can be comfortable and be open. Because they are trusting and they trust the Most High. You can tell because of the fasting. So we know the core of this country. We know the core of how they operate. So it's important that we tap into that as well and try to learn and do what we know we're supposed to do. Tap into it.
And I wanted to ask you, even as you just mentioned, about how you've learned more about what it means to fast to you, you know. And I wanted to ask you that what does it mean to fast to you as we're getting ready to enter this fast collectively? What does fasting mean to you?
Good question. Fasting to me is denying your flesh. Literally. Like, and when I say your flesh, I know it sounds like a vague term to a lot of people. When I say deny your flesh, I'm talking about like music, Like, not even just music, bad music. I take that back. Like, you can listen to worship music, but music that pulls your soul down. Like, worldly music, that's fleshly. It feeds your flesh. Eating, like, that feeds your flesh. Instagram, feeding your flesh. Facebook, social media, period, feeding your flesh. Distractions, yes. Any type of distraction is really just feeding your flesh, and that's what we need to fast and pray from as we're seeking guidance and understanding from the Most High. Because I feel like I had the ability and the privilege of sitting under some pretty good men of God that taught us the importance of fasting and taught us what comes from fasting. So when you fast, you get leveled up in the spirit realm. You get leveled up with the Most High. So that's what it means to me, leveling up, letting go, really stepping up to that next level. That's what I get from fasting, man. Yeah. So when moving forward, I think anyone who joins this fast, anyone who's, thinking about stepping into a mantle of leading, like my brother said, you can't forget about your people. Don't forget about your people. Even Moses, he had to take a step back. He didn't want to look at his people when they was getting hurt. The Most High was like, no, you got to look. Because when you look and when you feel and when you be amongst your people, you know what you're supposed to say in order to get them out of their situation. Just like my brother, he was with them in the situation, talking to them. Most High said, okay, we supposed to be fasting. So he was like, bam, let's fast. We know what we're supposed to do. Let's do it. So be confident and be encouraged that, man, fasting and praying is here for us. And it's a weapon that's used to pull down strongholds and pull down things that's holding us back. So my brother will add he will add what we're fasting for, what we're fasting to receive. It'll be all added to the end of this video. So if you please feel free to join us and put us all, so we can be on one bigger accord. That makes sense.
Yeah, and I do want to just extend that invite. We do want to extend that invite to anyone who wants to join this fast with us. For those of us who are here in Tanzania, those of us who are planning to come to Tanzania, and those of us who can recognize the need for unity in our nation, those of us who realize our need to come together and humble ourselves before the Most High and pray to Him and call to Him. Come together now and let's fast together. Let's pray together. And like you said, fasting. I'm learning about it more for myself. Is about denying your flesh. And something I didn't consider before was how much it means denying yourself from distractions from the fast. Because I know for me, I'd be fasting from food, but I can watch 3 movies and go outside for a little bit.
No word.
Talk on the phone. Forget I'm even fasting. But I'm realizing as I'm growing and learning more, like that it's more than that. It's about actually experiencing, the denial of the flesh and knowing that you're sacrificing. And then in those moments when the flesh is calling out to you, when your appetite is calling out, like those are the moments when you seek the Most High. You use the time to really focus in, remove the distractions from yourself, like our brother Stephen said. You remove those distractions from yourself and you focus in on the Most High and you endure through the denial, and in that you're really setting yourself apart for the Most High, and so that's something I'm going to try to be more intentional about throughout this fast, not just not eating, but as I'm not eating, being more intentional about praying, being more intentional about asking the Most High to help me, to really focus in on Him, to help me to really deny myself in all aspects and to really commit myself and submit myself to Him, and praying for His Ruach, praying for unity, praying for just fellowship with our brothers and sisters, whether they know that there are brothers and sisters in this moment, praying for fellowship amidst us, praying for a spirit of humility within us, and a spirit of courage to really go out and meet the people where they are, meet our brothers where they are, mix with them, blend with them, learn from them, talk with them, you know. What else? A spirit of courage, like I mentioned, to see actually eyesight, to be able to hear and see the Most High working in the midst of all of this, you know, and then find our hope in that, because that's where joy and happiness differs. I feel like happiness is just feeling good, but joy is being able to know and feel secure in the midst of the uncertainty that's surrounding you. And I think that's what we need in these times, and that's what we're going to need as we move forward, because you know, the Psalm says that 1,000 will fall by our right hand. It's going to take a lot of trust. It's going to take a lot of resilience. It's going to take the Ruach itself within us to be giving us security as we're seeing all these things happen around us, you know, to keep us in line, to keep us seeking Him, to keep us obedient. So, yeah, I'm just praying for that unity, for that Ruach more than anything else, to really come down on us as a nation.